right. Okay, so I am going to spotlight this. All right, so here's the deal, guys. When you're having conversations with your potential customers, I'm going to help you seal the deal. Put a 2 in the chat if you would like to enroll more customers. I would put a 2 in the chat, even though I enroll a lot of customers. We always want to enroll more, so everybody should put a 2 in the chat. So if you're enrolling more customers, here's why it's important. Number one, customers are the bread and butter of what we do. We could never be a distributor if we didn't have customers. Think about your promotions. Think about your first goal whenever you join this business. It's to get your shopping spree, to help you get 6 of your own loyal customers, to help you get $150 in free product credit. So you couldn't even hit your first goal without customers. And if we were all just distributors and no one was a customer, we wouldn't be able to function and thrive as a company. So we want to have these customers. So it's super important because it's going to help you get your shopping spree. Put a 3 in the chat if you're working on your first 6 customers right now in your first month for your shopping spree. We're going to cheer you on. Vanessa's working on hers. Maddie, Sarah, Melissa. Keep the 3s coming. Jocelyn, you're super close. Lauren, Melissa, Jordan. Okay, Michaela, love it. So guys, y'all are going to get your shopping spree and I'm going to help you do that tonight. Some of you have already gotten your shopping spree or you're already past your 30 days. So I'm going to talk to you tonight about making sure that you are working towards your promotions. And that's why you need customers, because you've got to get the volume to get the promotion. So no matter what stage of your business that you're in, no matter how long you've been in here, getting customers is super important. So I'm going to talk to you about how to do that. So there's 2 different types of people in this Zoom right now. And I don't know which one you are, but I'm going to talk to both of you, whichever type you are. Okay. There are some of you in here and neither is right. Neither is wrong. It's just who you are. I don't know who you are, but there's some people in here who are getting in not enough conversations a day. Like you're not talking to quite enough people. And that's why you're not really enrolling. There's another group of people that you're talking to as many people as I talk to every day, but you're not sealing the deal. So I want you to put a 1 in the chat if you feel like you're person number 1, that you're probably just not talking to enough people, if you'd be honest and say that. And number 2, put a 2 in the chat if you feel like you're talking to a lot of people, but you're just not sealing the deal. So you think it's probably your conversations. Okay, so 1 and 2. Okay, that's perfect. So lots of 1s, lots of 2s. So I want to help you do both. Okay, I want to help you get in more conversations. And I also want to help you seal the deal when you're in those conversations. Are y'all ready? Okay, get your pens and papers out. Here's what we're going to do. Let's talk about the first one first. If you're not getting in enough conversations, here's what I want you to think of first. Okay, usually when people aren't getting in enough conversations, it's usually your mindset. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people, when they join the business, they're afraid to message people. And it could be for a lot of different reasons. It can be because you're afraid of what they're going to think of you. It can be because you're afraid to hear the word no. It can be because you don't want them to feel obligated, or you don't want to feel like you're being pushy or pressuring people. Put a 4 in the chat if you're like, oh, that's kind of like me. That sounds like me right now. And that's why I'm not really messaging a whole lot of people. Okay, good. I love all the honesty. You're not going to get in trouble. I'm just trying to see who I'm talking to here so I can make sure that I'm adding value to you. So if you feel like you're one of those people who struggles with talking to people because you're afraid that you're going to be somebody who is any of the above, here's what I want you to remember. You joined this business to help people, right? But you can't do that with your mouth closed. We joined this business to help people change their life with the products, or to change their life with the business. And if we have the opportunity to change their life with one of the things that we have to offer them, but we don't share it with them, we're actually being selfish and we're not being as helpful as we think, because we think by not messaging them, we're not bothering them and we're being really helpful, but actually we're being really selfish. And I'm not saying you're a selfish person. I'm saying it's selfish of me not to share what I know I have my hands on. When I'm not sharing this business opportunity with other people who I know are praying for a way to be able to pay for gas and groceries like I did, who are praying for a way to be able to put clothes on their kids in the summer or in the winter because they don't have enough money to buy new clothes whenever their kids are growing, or that they want to be able to stay at home with their kids, or they want to be able to take a vacation and they don't have the money to do any of that. I have the ability to cure that and to help them, but I'm not saying anything about it. And so by me being afraid to message somebody, I'm taking away their ability to say yes to this, because you're going to have people tell you no, but you're also going to have people tell you yes. And you're letting the ones who may say no keep you from helping the ones who would say yes. And that's not fair because those people need this opportunity and that's who you're looking for. So I want you to think about it this way. COVID, everybody knows about COVID. Everybody thinks COVID sucks. If you had the cure to COVID, would you not tell people about it because you were afraid you'd bug them and bother them? No, you would tell them about it, right? Like you'd be going up to everybody and saying, oh my gosh, I can cure this thing. Oh my gosh, I have something that's going to help this, right? You would make sure that you were telling everyone that you knew about it because you know how important it is for other people to get their hands on what you found. Same thing with this business. It's not the cure to COVID or whatever, but it is the cure to what a lot of people are struggling with right now financially. Or I've had a lady one time, and this is a true story. I don't remember how long ago this was, but there was a day where I didn't feel like messaging that day on Instagram. I literally sat there. I was like, I really don't want to send these messages, but I did it anyways because I'm disciplined and I don't work based on how I feel. I work based on what I want. So that day I said, okay, I don't want to message, but I'm going to do it anyways. So I sent out a bunch of messages, and one of my messages just happened to be to a girl who she ended up saying that she was interested in some weight loss products. And I was like, okay, here's the information for that. And she was like, you know what? If you had messaged me this yesterday, I would never have said yes to you. But my husband and I went to a fertility clinic earlier today, and he told me that if I wanted to conceive a child, for me to go through IVF, I needed to lose 50 pounds in order for it to be even option for us, even a viable thing for us to do. I need to lose 50 pounds. And so I'm all in. Tell me what I need to do. I want these products because I want a baby so badly. What do I need to do this? There are people out there who are literally looking for these products that we would be selfish not to message those people. So she ordered the product, she lost weight, she got to get IVF, and I don't know the rest of the story, but I do know that I was able to help somebody. And so you think that it's just messaging people so that you can get customers and so that you can get more money and so you can get your shopping spree. But guys, it's so much more than that. It goes beyond just us and just what we're able to gain. We're able to help other people. In seeing customers' results, hearing people say things like that, where they truly do need this opportunity and they need these products, or they just really want to feel more confident in themselves. I can't tell you how many postpartum moms I've been able to help this month to feel better after they've had their babies. That's pretty much who I'm signing right now, are all these moms who say, you know what, like I want to feel confident now that I've had my baby and all these things. And so you get to help those people. So that's how I want you to change your mindset from I'm worried about what they think to who can I help today? And it's going to change your perspective when you hear no's, because when you're not looking for someone to help you and you're looking for you to help someone else, when they tell you no, you realize that that's not who you were looking for, instead of getting butthurt that they told you no, because then now they're not helping you out. Does that make sense? It takes the focus off of you and puts the focus onto them. So what I'm saying all in all is that sometimes in an effort for us to be thoughtful of other people, we're actually being selfish when we don't share this opportunity because of how many people it could help. So that's the mindset portion. I want you to make sure that you think about that. But then beyond the mindset, okay, so hopefully now you're like, okay, I'm ready to message people. Let's go do this. The other thing that you have to remember is that we're not just going to message people once every other day. We're not just going to message people one time a week. What is the number one thing that's going to help you be successful in this business? Put it in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. What's the number one thing? Starts with the C. What's the number one thing? Consistency. Yes, Christy got it first. Okay. Consistency. You have to be consistent. And so some of you aren't getting in conversations because you're maybe messaging enough people, but only once a month or once a week or once every other day. But you've got to be consistent with your messages. And when you are, you're going to see that you're consistently getting responses. And then whenever you're consistently getting responses, this next part that I'm going to talk to you about is going to help you with how to turn those responses into customers with your conversation. Okay. So you've got to be messaging every single day. How many people do you message every day? If you need a specific number, let's just say 50. Okay, that might sound like a lot to you if you're somebody who messages 10 people a day right now. But what I want you to realize is that I message 50 people in less than 10 minutes because I'm sending them all the same thing. I'm just going down my Facebook friends list and I'm messaging them. The message that I send is for host to post. So on Facebook, and write this down if you're taking notes, on Facebook, you're going to message for host to post. Okay, if you don't know what host to post is yet, and you're brand new in the business, it just means that your enroller has not gone over it with you yet in training. stick with them. They're going to teach you all those things. I see a couple of my new girls on here. We haven't gone over that yet. Don't let this confuse you. Just let this be an overview for you of what you're going to be learning in your training. But if you have gone over Host to Post and you know what it is, but you forgot or you're confused, I want you to get with your enroller after the Zoom or tomorrow and ask them to go over Host to Post again with you, because I'm telling you right now, that's where so many people are getting their customers from. Okay. All the leaders on here will tell you Host to Post is where it's at. I see Becca right now. She's shaking her head. She's like, yes. Becca just went Emerald last month. She's going Diamond this month. This girl knows what she's doing and she does Host to Post. Okay, guys. So success leaves clues. If she's successful and she's doing Host to Post, we probably should be doing Host to Post too. Okay. So for Facebook, you're going to be messaging for Host to Post. How many people? Let's say 50 people a day. If you want to do more than that, go for it. But I would say let's do a minimum of 50 people per day. This is going to be the same message. It's copied and pasted, so it's not going to take you a long time. All you're going to say is, hey girl, I have a question. Okay, super simple. Hey girl, I have a question. Then when they respond back, all you're going to say is this. Thanks for getting back to me. I was wondering if you do me a favor. It's nothing huge. Would you be willing to copy and paste a post on your wall that I give you? I'll send you what to post. All you have to do, and it's helped me expand my network and grow my business. In exchange, you'll be entered into our giveaway next week for a Yeti cooler, because that's what our team is doing, or a cash equivalent. I'm going for a huge promotion this month. I know it helped my family and I so much. Okay. Your promotion might be a shopping spree. Your promotion might be executive or Ruby, or your promotion might be presidential. It doesn't matter what your promotion is. We are all going for a goal, and you're going to let your people know that. And I had so many people today say, oh my gosh, why not? Let me help you. What do you need me to post? And I had so many people post for me today just by sending that message to 50 people. Okay. Then once you send them that and they're like, okay, sure. Yeah, I'd love to post for you. What do I need to post? You're going to send this, or you can have them post something different. If you already have a post that's working for you, send that. But the next part is going to be where you tell them what to post for you. Super easy, super simple. So that's going to be your message for Facebook. Then whenever people post for you, you're going to message the people who comment on those people's posts. And then you're going to get your customers that way. So let's say Becca is not a distributor and she goes and she posts for me because I asked her to. Becca posts for me, and Becca's friends, Ashley, Jennifer, and Jessica, all comment. Well, now I'm going to go message Ashley, Jennifer, and Jessica and let them know about the product and the information about that. And one of them is interested and one of them ends up ordering for me. And the rest of them are now my Facebook friends, and they're watching my posts. They're watching me post about the opportunity. They're watching me post about my husband and my dog, and they're watching me post about all the different things that I talk about on a daily basis. And now they're going to be looking at a cleanse post, and maybe they were interested in that product, but then later on they saw me post about the cleanse and they messaged me. I have that happen all the time, where people message me things afterwards from a Host to Post. They don't order that product, but they end up becoming a distributor, or they end up getting the product. Okay. So make sure that you are messaging 50 people per day on Facebook. And that is what I want you to say. Well, can we say something different? For now, I want you to just stick with what I'm teaching you on here, because the simpler, the better. We always say when we're talking to our potentials, a confused mind says no. I'll explain a little bit more about that in our conversations in a minute for the type 2 people who are getting in a lot of conversations, but not really enrolling a lot. I'm getting to you, but we always say a confused mind says no. And that doesn't just go for our potential customers. It goes for us too. If I get really confused and overwhelmed by something, I just don't do it, because it just is too much for me. So I know that if I can just stick with one message per day on Instagram and Facebook, then that's what's going to get me the results that I want. So for now on Facebook, I just want you to message them, hey girl, I have a question. Somebody said, is there a reason that you don't have them tag you? It messes up the algorithm. They let me know when they post for me. I go and I click the 3 dots at the top of the post and I click save post and I add it to a collection. When I add it to a collection on Facebook, that's where I go and search through all of the posts. That way I can see who comments. Okay. So then the next question, or the next message, is the Instagram message. Instagram. How many people do I message on Instagram every day? Just say 50 people. If you need a number and you are just somebody that has to have a number, let's say 50. Now you can do more, but I want you to shoot for 50. And the reason why is because there's power in numbers. We know that not everybody's going to message you back. We know that not everybody's going to say yes whenever you first get started. So the people who are getting more customers than you are simply just talking to more people than you. And you are one of the people that said hey, I'm a number one. I'm not getting in enough conversations a day. You might be the people that are thinking 50 people a day. Wow, that's way more than I'm messaging now. Yeah, that's what it's going to take. And those 50 people, not all of them are going to respond back to you, but the ones who do are the ones you're looking for. And the ones who don't, now they're watching your page. It's a win-win when you message people, because if they don't respond back to you, they're watching you now. They're seeing the things that you're posting. They're invested in you. So maybe they left you on red, but they're watching your story. They're seeing your polls about the coffee every morning whenever you make it. They're seeing you talk about the cleanse. They're seeing you live your best life and how excited you are about your promotion. They're going to ask you about it later on. So all you're doing is planting seeds whenever you go to message. So even when somebody leaves you on red, it's always a blessing because you showed up and they're seeing your stuff now. Okay. So you're going to message 50 people. And this is the message that I personally send. And I like this message because it does get me a lot of customers. Oh gosh, hopefully yep, there you go. So that's what I send. Okay. Make it sound like you, change it up a little bit. I wouldn't change it too much because I know that message works. When I respond back, if they say, oh, what is it? Or yeah, I'm interested. Or what do you sell? This is what I say. Okay. And so you can take these scripts and you can paste them into your notes on your computer and it'll go to your phone, or you can also send it to yourself on Facebook in a Facebook message. Okay. That's how you can get these scripts onto your phone, but that's what I want you to do. So I want you messaging 50 people a day. And whenever you sit down to message 50 people, if you don't have distractions, guys, this is not going to take a long time. If you're like, oh my gosh, I hate messaging because it's just not fun, I feel you. Anybody else in here that's like, messaging just sometimes isn't fun, so I just don't like to do it? If you be honest and say that's you, put a 1 in the chat. That's me, and I'm going to help you out with that, because sometimes I just sit and I'm like, I really just don't feel like messaging. There are so many other things I could do with my day right now than message, and I really just want to watch Grey's Anatomy, but I need to sit down and message. Here's what I do, okay? I make myself message because I'm disciplined. I'm not waiting on my motivation to be there. I'm not waiting until I feel a certain way or feel excited or feel ready or feel like I want to. I message whenever I don't want to because I'm disciplined. That's the first thing. The second thing is that I put my phone on do not disturb, like Tara said. Put your phone on do not disturb or else you're going to get distracted. So then what I go do is I go on Facebook and I start there and I get a bomb playlist. Okay. Some Shania Twain. I get some, just all the good stuff. Okay. Just some jams, whatever music you're into, get some really, really good songs. And if you're one of those people that you're like, this is not fun to message. Okay. Make it fun. Two Friends Big Booty on Spotify is always a good option. You can go search them. They always have good songs. So I want you to go pick a playlist. Okay. I usually do like 4 or 5 songs. And when those 4 or 5 songs are over, then I can stop messaging on Facebook. Then I get 4 or 5 more songs and I just jam out like by myself, no distractions, no TV, because obviously you can't listen to music and watch TV at the same time. Then I go and do that on Instagram, 50 more people. I'm messaging all of them until I get to 50 or until I listen to all of those songs. When I'm done, I go reward myself with something like hanging out with my dog or watching Grey's Anatomy or going for a walk or going to the gym. I reward myself with something after I'm done so that I can be productive and then get to have that fill. Does that make sense? So you don't listen to the, oh, I don't feel like it. Oh, I'm not motivated. Oh, this isn't fun. You have to make sure that you are focused on getting disciplined and doing it even whenever you don't want to, and especially when you don't feel like it. So let me see if there's anything else I was going to say. Okay, so if you're messaging 50 people already and you're like, I am doing those things, I'm still not getting enough people, I'm still not getting where I want to go, I'm still not getting in enough conversations, here's what I want to encourage you with. Number 1, you probably need to find a new network, meaning that you probably have a lot of people who are either really negative on your Facebook and Instagram, where you accidentally added a bunch of people that are in that type of mindset, or you just need to add or message more people. So there's a book called The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. And he always says, if you're not getting the results that you want with what you're doing, 10 extra efforts. So that's what I want to encourage you to do. 10 extra efforts. If 10 messages isn't getting you anywhere, do 50. If 50 is like, you're like, okay, I'm bringing in more customers, but I have big goals for myself. I want to go diamond. Then message more than 50. Do whatever it takes to get where you want to be. And that's what I'm willing to do. So that's why I am where I am, is because I've been willing to say, I'm going to sacrifice the small things so that I can say yes to the big things later. And that's sitting down and messaging more people, getting with other people on the team and doing work Zooms with them so that it can be fun to message and doing all of those things. But when you're adding to your network, I want to hit on this really quick because I know some of you don't get a lot of really good responses whenever you're asking people to post on their wall for you, or you're asking people if they want to be a product model on Instagram and you're getting a lot of negativity or something like that. I don't get that. And that's because of my network that I've added. So if you are getting that, it's not the company, it's not the products, it's not the message, it's just the people that you're talking to. So be excited about that because the messages do work because they work for me and they work for others. If they're not working for you, all we have to do is tweak who you're adding to your network. So what that might look like for you is if you're adding to your network from your suggested friends on Facebook, don't do that. The reason why I say that is if you're going through your suggested friends, you're probably going to find people who are in your area. If you're finding that all the people who are in your area are really negative and then you keep adding from the suggested friends, you're continuing to add from people who are like the friends you just added who are really negative. Okay. So then if you are adding people from, I don't know, let's say this one person's Facebook and you go to their friends and you're adding all those people, but they all seem to be really negative, don't keep adding from there. A lot of people from, suggested friends are also people that are in other companies. We don't want to add people in another company because they're not going to post for you, because I wouldn't post for someone else in another company either, just because I'm already running my own business. And so we want to make sure that we're keeping those things in mind. So one thing that I do when I add people on Facebook, and I talked to one of my new girls today who said that this did help her. So I'll share this tip one more time. On Facebook, do you know those ads that you see for leggings, straighteners, curling irons? If you're a mom, you probably see like diaper bags or whatever. If you see those ads, you can go to the people who liked those ads and you can add people from there. Then when you see someone that sticks out to you, who looks really positive, who looks, she has a cute Instagram or a cute Facebook profile or whatever, you can go add to her and then go to her friends list and go to her suggested friends and then add from there. Okay. Facebook or Instagram. That's how you do it on Facebook. On Instagram, I add people from the explore page who, if like, let's say there's a girl and she's, posting with her husband and they're talking about being newlyweds, they're on the beach, they have a super cute, background, whatever, her picture's really bright and she has a lot of followers. I'm probably not going to add her, but I'm going to go look at her picture and I'm going to add people who liked her picture. Why? Because she has a really bright profile picture and bright, like, Instagram. So that's somebody that I'm going to want to find people who have that similar interest versus someone who has dark and blurry pictures and they're really negative. That's not really who I'm looking for. So I'm going to find people who are like this girl if I go to her Instagram. Okay. So if I go to her Instagram, I'm going to add people who like her picture. And that also means that she's a newlywed. So she's probably going to have a lot of people who follow her who are newlyweds. I got married a little over 2 years ago. So still technically a newlywed, or what, I don't know what the cutoff is on that, but I can go add people who have that in common because that's something that I have. Or if I see a golden retriever in a picture, I'm going to go add those people who like that picture because they probably have a golden or they like dogs. So they're going to like what I post. So those are different examples of places that you can go add if you feel like you're sending out a lot of messages and just not getting a lot of good feedback. Put a 1 in the chat if you learned something from that before we go on to section 2, where I'm going to help you with your conversations. Okay. Put a 1 in the chat if that was helpful. Perfect. I'm gonna take a drink. Okay, so let's move on to the second part. My throat hurts. Whew. Okay, spitting fire. I'm sweating over here, guys. This is gonna be good, okay? All right, so the second thing I want to talk about, sealing the deal. So this is for all of you who put a 2 in the chat earlier, where you said, yeah, I am actually getting in a lot of conversations every day. I would say I'm talking to 15 plus new people every single day, but I'm just not enrolling anyone. I'm not sealing the deal with a lot of them. Okay. Those are the people that put a 2 in the chat. So here's what is likely the problem, and it's probably just your conversations. So one thing that I really want you to do is I want you to get back to what you did when you very first started. I want you to start sending screenshots again to the people who enrolled you. If you're in a group chat, I want you sending screenshots in that group chat, and do not respond to anybody without their help for just a little bit so that you can see what you might should be saying different, because usually it's not a big thing that you're missing. It's just a little tweak that can help you make the biggest difference in your conversations. So I really want to encourage you, if you are a person that put a 2 in the chat earlier and you said, I just don't think I think it's my conversations. I just don't really know how to word them and how to keep them flowing. I want you sending screenshots before you reply back to people from now on for just a little bit, adjust your conversations, and then you can go back on your own for a while. So here's what I want you to remember, okay? When you're having a conversation, you want to be assertive, and you always want to end with a question, okay? So put a 2 in the chat if you're nervous and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to be pushy and that I'm going to pressure people if I'm being assertive. And I'm scared that people aren't going to want to order from me if I seem pushy. Okay. Perfect. People being honest. I love it. Okay. So here's the deal though. When you're being assertive, here's an example that I shared on a Zoom a long time ago, and I'll share it again, because a lot of you weren't in the business when I shared this the first time. My husband, if y'all know the color personalities, my husband is a yellow. So he is the person who, if you're a yellow, you probably are the one who thinks like, oh, I don't want to be pushy, right? You're like, oh, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want people to think I'm pressuring them. I don't want people to think that I'm like hurrying them up to order, right? That's probably you. So my husband has that natural tendency as well because he is a yellow. But let me tell you this, last spring actually, we were looking for someone to do our landscape. We had just moved into a house. We needed somebody to do like yard, all the things. He had multiple phone calls with different people from different landscape companies. And he talked to this one guy, and he called him and he was like, hey, I am calling to get, an estimate, a quote for our landscape. And the guy said, okay. And Derek was like, okay, so like, do you need to come by here? Like what? And the guy was like, yeah, I can do that. Derek was like, okay, like when works for you? Like, and so Derek was like, he got off that conversation and he was like, I feel so awkward because I didn't know what questions to ask. I didn't know what I was supposed to be saying. Like once I told him that I wanted an estimate, from there he should have said, okay, well, since you need an estimate, here's the process. This is what we normally do. I'm going to come by, I'm going to get an estimate, I'm going to get a quote, I'm going to figure out how big your yard is, and I'm going to send that over to you. If you agree to that, then we'll come by and we'll start the process. It usually takes about 1 to 2 months. How does that sound? Is that pushy? Put a 3 in the chat if you're like, oh, that is so much better of a conversation flow than the one that actually happened. Okay, Derek actually left that conversation and went with the guy who was more expensive because he did the second example. And he said, this is how it's going to work. This is what we're going to do, because it made Derek feel more confident. It made him feel more comfortable that this guy knew what he was doing because he led the conversation. Okay. So now I want you to remember that now you see that leading the conversation does not mean you're being pushy. Being assertive does not mean that you're pressuring people. It just means that you're making them feel comfortable, because it's not their job to ask the right questions. It's our job to lead the conversation and ask them questions. Okay. So here's how my conversation goes every single time. Okay. So if somebody, let's just say someone voted on a poll of mine on Instagram, for example, okay? Let's say they voted on a poll and I'm going to message them, and I'm not going to say, hey, I saw you voted on a poll. Are you interested? Dude, they voted on a poll saying, message me more info. They're interested. Okay, let's skip a step. Don't ask them that again. It's like somebody called you and said, hey, I want a quote for my landscape. And you call them back and say, hey, are you interested in landscape? Like, bro, that's what I already said. Okay, so let's just skip to the point. You're going to message them and you're going to say, hey, I saw your vote on my poll about the coffee. I'm so excited to give you some more information. And then you're going to send them the information about the keto coffee. Here is mine. Okay. Notice that in my description, I explain what the coffee is. I talk about how much I love it. I add emojis to make it fun. I also explain that it's $78 for the discount price because that is a 1 month supply of coffee. I never tell people about the 15-day supply of coffee or the 12 servings of the keto or the K cups. I don't sell them that because they're not going to get as good of results. I tell them the discount price is $78. What do you think? Do you see that I ended that with a question? That is huge. You always want to end every single thing with questions. Okay. So you're going to say, hey, I saw you voted on my poll about the fat burning coffee. I'm so excited to give you some more information. So our fat burning coffee boosts your energy, blah, 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 blah. Then I'm going to send them a results picture with that message. Okay. So in one message, what did I do? I sent them product information, pricing, and a before and after all at once. And I send it to them and I wait for them to reply. How do I know that they're likely going to reply? Because I said, what do you think? If I just said, oh my gosh, Maddie, your shirt is so cute, she might just be like, oh, thanks. But if I said, oh, Maddie, your shirt's so cute, where did you get it? She's going to be like, oh, I got it from here. So she responded to me because I asked it with a question. I ended it with a question. I didn't just give her a statement. She was like, okay, so what do I do with this information? Cool. Your coffee's burns fat and everything. Yeah. Like, what do you do? Cool. Awesome. Thumbs up. Like, you ask a question. What do you think? Then they get to respond. Oh, I think that sounds good. Or, oh, I'm curious about this. Or, oh, I have a question about that. It does not matter what they say back to you. Your next step is sending them the 90-day challenge information. Okay. So let's say they say, oh, I love coffee. I'm worried that I'm not going to like the taste of this coffee because I'm really picky about my coffee. How does it taste? Okay. I'm going to say, well, I actually love the flavor of this coffee so much that I don't drink any other coffee. And I'm actually a coffee snob now because ours is better than any other coffee that I ever taste. And we actually have 3 different flavors. So it doesn't matter how you like your coffee. You'll love how we do these. And you have lots of different options. So we have a French roast, we have a creamy, and we have a salted caramel. How do you normally drink your coffee? Is it pretty strong or is it pretty sweet? So with the 90-day challenge information, that's what I send them next. So it's all together. Okay. So I'm still going to say blah, blah, blah about the coffee, and I'm going to respond to what they say. Oh gosh, my script isn't coming. Hang on. Whatever. My script won't post, but that's what I sent. So I'm going to explain the 90-day challenge information with that message. Not after, not later. I'm not just going to say, oh, our coffee tastes really good. We have French roast and a couple different other flavors, period. No, I'm going to say, oh, we have a lot of different flavors. I'm so excited. You're going to love this. How do you normally drink your coffee? Also, so with the 90-day challenge, you just order a product for, thank you, that one. Emily just put it in there. So that's going to be all together in one message. Do you see what I did at the end of that message? What's at the end of the 90-day challenge information? A question. Every single time I ask a question and I say, sound good? That is a yes or a no. So whenever they say yes, they're going to say, yeah, that sounds good. I normally take my coffee dark. I really like it just black. Okay, perfect. You're going to love our French roast flavor. And the next thing that you do, no matter what, is ask for their number. Do you see how I just led that conversation and I did not seem pushy at all? I said, here's the information about the product that you said you were interested in. Here's a before and after. What do you think? Oh, that sounds good. And then I send the flavors of the coffee and the 90-day challenge information. Now, I normally don't send the flavors of the coffee unless they ask. I wait till I'm putting their order in to ask them what flavor they want. I don't do that before then because it gets confusing. A confused mind says no. So I don't bring up the flavors unless they ask me about that. But I was just giving you an example because a lot of you have things like that happen where people will ask you something that throws you off and you forget where you're going in your conversation and then they start to lead the conversation. We don't want that to happen. So we're going to let them lead the conversation, or we're going to lead the conversation. So we sent them the 90-day challenge information. Sound good? Yes or no? Yes. Awesome. Perfect. Yay. Can I get your number? We get their number. And then we say, hey, this is Morgan from Instagram. How are you? I'm good. How are you? I'm great. Thank you. I'm excited to help you order. Are your billing and shipping addresses the same? Notice I never once asked if they were ready to order. Why? Because if your mom said, Emily, go clean your room. Or if your mom said, Emily, are you ready to clean your room? Emily's gonna be like, no, why are you not ready to clean your room? Well, I don't know, but you just gave me an option not to be ready to clean my room. So I'm probably just gonna take that one. I'll just do it later. You're never gonna ask people, are you ready to order? Or are you ready for me to place your order now? Or when's a good time for me to put your order in? You're going to assume the sale. And at that point, when you say your billing and shipping address is the same, if they come back and they say, oh yeah, they are, but I actually have to wait till Friday to get my paycheck. Perfect. I got you down for Friday. I'm going to message you then. On Friday, I'm going to message them and say, hey, I'm so excited to help you order today. Is that still the plan? They say, yep. I say, perfect. Here's the information, the order form. I send this. And I send them an order form. I can send that in our group chat right now. And that way, if you're not in our Goal Crushers chat yet, you can be added later. But that way your enroller can definitely make sure that you get this order form. And that's what you're going to send people. When they send you their information, you're going to place their order for them. Okay. So notice how I ended everything with a question. I have the same conversation flow every single time, no matter what they ask. I'm always going to send the info and the pricing with the before and after, the 90-day challenge information. I'm going to get their number and I'm going to send them the order form. That's it. It is so simple. So simple. Okay. And it doesn't matter if they say yes or no. I'm going to still send them the order form. I very, very rarely have somebody tell me, I don't want you to send me my information. I'm not going to send that to you. I rarely have them do that. Why? I'm glad you asked, because I show who I am on my social media. So people trust me because I show my face. I have my face in my stories. I'm showing who I am. I talk about what I love. I'm not just posting a bunch of graphics. I'm not just talking about the business. I'm sharing who I am, and they're connecting with me on a personal level. And a lot of people that I sign up reach out to me first. And that does not mean that you shouldn't message. We just talked about how I want you to, because I still message, but a lot of them are so comfortable giving me their information without a second thought, because I am showing who I am. I'm talking about myself, and they're seeing that. So whenever I ask them, they already feel like they know me. So it'd be like asking your mom or your best friend for their card info. Of course they'll give it to you. They trust you. Okay. So you want to make sure that you are showing yourself that. But the other thing that I do, if somebody will tell me, oh, I'm not super comfortable sending that information out, I will send them a video of myself. I am not too good. I will send them a video and I will say, hey, I totally understand. This is actually how I place every single order. So what you're going to do is you're going to send me your information. Again, I'm like reiterating, so you're going to send me your info. Okay. So what I'm telling them, you're going to send me your information. Whenever you do, all I'm going to do is go in my back office. I'm going to place your order with my discount that allows you to get that pricing I gave you on Instagram. And then I'm going to send you a confirmation to let you know that your order went through. And that's just a picture of the screen that you get saying oh, your enrollment's complete. I send them that. And then I say, you're going to get an email from the company as well. So if you want to call me, that's fine. If you want to FaceTime me, if you want to text it to me, voice text it, send it in a picture, I don't care. Just send it over to me and I'll go ahead and do that. Does that work? Send that into a video, send that into a text, and they always send me their information back. So I never have people wanting to place their own order. If that doesn't work, which I've never had that not work, I would just send a Connect app shopping cart. If you don't know what that is or don't know how to do that, wait till you cross that bridge, cross that bridge when you get there, and you can talk to your enroller and they can help you do that. But honestly, I place every single customer's order myself. I placed 2 customers before I got on this Zoom. Both of them sent me their information. Okay. Amber Schilling said that she did a video on Dare to be Diamond about the Connect app, shopping cart. So check that out if you don't have that, or if you don't know how to do it. But that's what I want you to send, or that's what I want you to do in your conversation. So really quick, I'm going to show you a couple of conversations that these people told me that I could share. And this does have the potential's name, but it does not have the person. Let me see if I can share my screen. Hopefully it'll let me. This doesn't say who the person is that was talking with them. Hang on really quick. I'm going to show you what they did, and I'm going to show you like responses back. Okay. Because a lot of you have things that you come across that you don't really know how to respond back to. And that's what I want to help you overcome right now. So hang on one second. I'm trying to get this to show my phone screen. Oh, let me disconnect it. There we go. One sec. Oh my goodness. Hang on. Stay with me. This is going to be worth it. Okay, well, in the meantime, I'm waiting for my thing to say that it will trust or not trust my computer. In the meantime, I'm gonna check the chat later, but I'm gonna get totally off what I'm saying if I look at it now. But couple things I want you to remember is that you're never, ever, 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 under any circumstance, no matter what, you're never gonna say, let me know. Okay? You're never gonna say, let me know. Go ahead, and if you're taking notes, write that down in your notes. You are never going to say, let me know. Why? Because we want to maintain control of the conversation. And when we tell them to let us know, we are not maintaining control of the conversation. Now their ball is in their court. And they could say yes, or they could say no, and they can do whatever they want at that point, because we aren't telling them, okay, this is what we're going to do next. Okay. So never say, let me know. If you run into a conversation where somebody is just kind of dragging it out and they're asking a lot of questions that don't seem like they really kind of go with what you're talking about, that's again where you're going to say the next thing in the conversation. So I want y'all to write it in the chat. What is the conversation flow? You're going to send the product info, pricing, and before and after. That's all in one message. Then you're going to send the 90-day challenge information. Then you're going to get their number. And then you're going to send the order form. Okay. I want you to write that down in your notes if you're taking notes. And I really don't know why this isn't working. Let me try to screen share. Shoot. All right, maybe this will work. Perfect. Okay, yay. All right, sorry, that took a long time, but it was worth it. Okay, so this is a conversation. So this girl sent the information. She did it right. She sent the product information. You can only see the bottom, but you can tell she sent the information. She sent the pricing, and she sent a before and after. So yes, 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 yes. All right. Okay. Then the person said, I might be interested. I will let you know. What is the next part of our conversation? Put it in the chat. You know what comes next. After you send that information, what do we send next? What's the next part? What are we going to tell them next? Put it in the chat. The 90-day challenge information, right? We're going to send them, yes, Becca, 90-day challenge. We're going to explain that to them. So if we're sending them the 90-day challenge information yet, what I would say back to this, because I get this sometimes too, especially with host to post, I say, okay, awesome. I would love to give you some more information just so that you can be educated enough to make a decision, because I haven't sent you very much information yet. So the 90-day challenge, blah, 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 blah. And I send them that information. Okay. So does that make sense? So I'm going to say, all right, cool. That's fine. But let me send you some more information so you can decide. Here's the 90-day challenge info. Then this is another one. Okay. So this is Christy from Facebook. How are you? Good. Just kidding. So far, this girl has sent all of the right things. Pat said, I'm just getting off of work. Awesome. That's always a good feeling. I'm so excited to help you order. Your billing and shipping address is the same. So far, yes, correct. Everything's going good. Driving home from work. We'll get back to you soon. Sounds good. Let me know. Nope. That's where we messed up. Okay. That's where we lost them. We don't want to say, let me know. After we send are your billing and shipping address is the same. What do we say next? Yes, Sierra should have sent the form. And so that's what I told her afterwards. I said, okay, so what I would just add to that at the beginning, because that's my script. So at the beginning, maybe I would just say, okay, perfect. Whenever you get wherever you're going or whenever you get home, yay, I just need the info in the highlighted portion of the order form. Then if I'm sending out an order form, I am waiting 1 hour before I check back and say, does that work? Okay. So if they did not respond back to that order form, they've had it for an hour, I'm going to say, does that work? Why? Because I want to make sure that they're not texting me back because they don't want to send me their info. I want to make sure that it's because they're just too busy. If they come back and they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, sorry, I was just busy with my kids. Oh my gosh, no problem. I am ready whenever you are. Do you see how I'm saying no worries, balls in your court, but I am ready? Like I'm basically letting them know, okay, but I'm waiting on you, so that they don't think that they have forever. So I'm going to say, okay, no worries at all. I'm ready whenever you are, girl. Again, let's say that's tonight. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to say, hey, did you get a chance to send that info yet? Knowing that they didn't, but I'm going to ask them if they did, because maybe the text didn't send, or they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I'm sending it now. We want to be on them like white on rice. When we send that order form, we are not just letting them have it for a week without saying anything back. We are getting back to them because they said that they were interested. If they respond back and they say, oh, I just can't order it yet, or if they're not responding back about the order form after you sent it, they probably don't have the money yet. So one of my favorite follow-ups with that, if they're ignoring you after the order form, is I'll say, hey, did you change your mind? Or did you just need to wait for another paycheck? Then they can tell me, oh, I'm still interested, but I do need to wait for another paycheck because I get paid on Friday. That's totally fine. I understand completely. I have you down for Friday and I'll check back then. Hey, Pat, it's Friday. I'm so excited to help you place your order. Is that still the plan? Notice how I ended it with a question, and she's going to send me her information. Okay, does that make sense? Let's look at the next one. Okay, so let's say, so this girl up here where it says the no side effects thing, she was just sending information about the product. She had already sent the information. She sent the 90-day challenge and she added that in because the girl said something about side effects. Okay, so then she said, I don't have allergies. After, if she sent the product information, the before and after, and the 90-day challenge, and that girl says, I don't have allergies, what do we say back? What's the next part? After the 90-day challenge, what do we send? Yes, Amber, we ask for their number. So so I told this girl later, so she already knows, but what I told her that she should have done instead of saying that's good. So yeah, there's no side effects. Do you see how the conversation is going stale? And then she said, yeah. And then she was like, you're interested in trying out the products. And this girl's now just thinking of random freaking questions to ask this girl because she doesn't know what to ask. It's like my husband, whenever he was like, so like, what's your favorite color? Like, are you going to come look at our landscape? Like, I don't really know what to do from here. Like, what are we going to, I don't know. She doesn't know what questions to ask. So we lead the conversation. And so what this girl should have said instead is, that's good. There's no side effects. Awesome. Can I get your number? It'll be easier than using DM. Okay. And then that girl sends her information. We keep the conversation flowing and that girl gets her order in. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's it. So sign a customer. Okay. That was it. So basically, I just wanted to let y'all know some of the things that I see y'all struggling with, because a lot of y'all have the same questions. And so I wanted to kind of go over all of this, because if you all have the same questions, then it's important for me to make sure that I'm explaining these things to you. Does anyone, really quick, so you have 5 minutes left, does anyone have any questions or things that they come across that you can put in the chat that you can say, hey, can you help me with this? I hear this a lot and I never know how to reply. Or this is the part that I always get stuck on and I'm doing what you said, but I don't really know that that's going to help because this is happening. Like, does anybody have any of that? While y'all are putting those in the chat, I'm going to look back and see what questions I missed because I was ignoring it for a little bit because I wanted to stay on track. But I want to make sure that y'all understand that, it's just a matter of getting in enough conversations. And then once you are getting in enough conversations, like having that conversation flow the same every time. And if you can get that conversation flow down, if you're struggling with that, this is going to help you. And then if you're doing that conversation flow with enough people, you're going to be enrolling more people than you are. I promise, because I talk to those people every day. I talk to that amount, and I'm using that conversation flow, and I'm a top enroller in the company. So I'm just telling you, there's no difference between me and you, except the amount of people you're talking to and what you might be saying. Now you don't have excuses. Now you're doing everything I'm doing, and you're going to enroll just as many people as I do or more. And that's my goal for you. The other thing I wanted to say is, in these conversations, yes, we want to sign them on the spot, but the ultimate goal in this business is the follow-up. The fortune is always in the follow-up, guys. The reason why I sign so many people is because I'm following up with them. I'm consistent in my follow-ups. I write down every person that I talk to on this notebook. Okay, so I'm making sure I'm consistent with that. If I didn't write them down, I would forget who I talked to. Maybe you're brand new and you're like, well, I know who I'm talking to, but don't you want to not know who you're talking to? Don't you want to be in so many conversations that you can't keep track? And do you think that that's a really good method to be sustainable long-term in your business when you've been here for a year? You can't just remember who you talk to. So come up with the system now while you don't have that many potential, so that you can make sure that you're keeping up with them when you do. Okay. Let's see. Celeste asked about the Goal Crushers chat. If you're not in there yet, you probably haven't gotten your shopping spree. It's just something that we add you to after that. So talk with your enroller if you have gotten your shopping spree, and they can make sure that they add you to that. Let's see. I have a friend that says she'll order when she gets her stimulus check. Those are coming out, so make sure that you're checking back with people. Maybe go back through. I'm planning to go back through all of my follow-ups and message those people around stimulus check time and ask them if they're still interested, or offer the opportunity to them. Do I always add my customer to the accountability group? Yes. Whenever I sign someone up and I tell them that their order is done, that's the message that I send. And it says, add me on facebook.com, and then click this link to request to join our Facebook accountability group. It is super important, because that's how I keep my customers for longer than 3 months. If you're watching the recording of this on YouTube, that is not for everybody. It's just for our team. So please don't try to add your people to that group. It's just for my team and I. So if you're on here and you're on my team, you are able to use that, and your enroller can point you in that direction, but there is the link to that in the chat. Okay, so somebody says, I don't like to commit to a monthly auto ship. Can I just do 1 month? This is a message that I send. Hang on, I'm not going to be able to send it in the chat, but I can send it in the Goal Crushers chat, and I can read it to you really quick, and I'll tell you what I say. When someone tells me that they don't want to order as a 90-day challenge or a loyal customer, I know that they do, because I know that that's the best deal, and I know that they're going to get a way better discount if they are doing that. So I say, you don't have to get the same thing every month. You get to switch up your order each time if you choose, so it doesn't have to be the same price every time. You'll want to do the 90-day challenge to get my discount, free shopping sprees, and unlimited free products. No one ever orders retail, just a one-time order, because for the best results, you'll want to use the products longer and more consistently. And because the 90-day challenge is just a way better deal, because you'll pay double the price for a one-time order. That's why everyone does the 90-day challenge. And I never have people say after that, oh, never mind. They always say, oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I'll do the 90-day challenge. And the reason why is because I always end it with, that's why everyone does this. And don't we all want to do what everyone else is doing? Don't we all want to do if I told you, well, everybody does this, or everybody got this shirt, you're gonna be like, well, I want to get that shirt because I don't want to be left out. I don't want to be the one person who doesn't do that, right? So make sure that you're reminding them of that. I can send this script in the chat, and then your enrollers can get that out to you. I always get, let me think about it. Again, that's where you're going to send the next part of their training, or the next part of the conversation. But you can say, okay, let me give you some more information so you can think about it. Or if I've already sent them all the information, I've given them the 90-day challenge information, and they're still like, oh, let me think about it, I'll say, okay, perfect, I'm going to check back in 2 days with you and see what you think. Again, they're thinking about it, but I still have the control of the conversation. So I'm going to check back with them in 2 days, because that's when I had planned to check back with them anyway. Let's see. I get a lot of people wanting to look into it more. So anytime somebody says they want to look into it more, I send them the product info sheet from the website. So I say, oh, here, I will make it easy for you. Here's all the information from the product info sheet. What questions do you have? Notice how I'm asking them, ending it with a question. What questions do you have? And here's the product info sheet. There's really nothing that they can't find on the product info sheet. And if they still say, I just want to look into it more, I'll say, can I ask what specific questions that you have? Because they probably are just saying that as a reason why they don't, like, instead of saying, oh, I'm not interested, they're saying, let me look into it, as a really nice way to say that they're not interested. So I try to see if that really is what they're wanting to do, because I know I can give them all their information. Okay. So guys, there is so many things that you can get off of the website. So product info sheet, all of that's on the website. If you have questions that I didn't get to go over, because there's so many different things that people can ask, but I really want you, if you feel like you're having trouble with these conversations, or you're running into these problems, or you have certain questions that people ask you, send a screenshot to your enroller. That is what's going to help you learn how to do those in the future. Okay. They're going to teach you the first time, and then you're going to know how to do it from there. I really, really want to encourage you to send screenshots, unless you feel like you've got it. If you're doing that conversation flow, go for it. But if you need help, or if you run into a question that you don't know how to answer, don't just wing it. Ask someone who knows what they're doing to help you. Okay. All right. Well, thank y'all so much for hopping on here. I don't want to run over anymore. Thank y'all so much for being on. I'm so excited. Let's go sign all the customers. Let's go help all the people. Make sure that you tell your teams about this if it was helpful for you, so that they hop on next week. I hope you'll have a great week, and I hope you'll have a great night. Bye, guys.